And welcome, race fans, all the nerd and nerdettes out there tonight. Back with us for another Sunday night of short track racing action. And thank the race gods above, the first night, it will be under the lights for the Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series here at Thompson. Yes, it is the first night race of the season. We are here for the running of the Stay Tuned Sports 65. Going to be a good race. Thompson is always a very good track. Something you are going to hear drivers talk about is brakes, and more brakes, because you carry a lot of speed down these straightaways into those corners, and you're going to see those rotors get cherry red for sure all the way. But as always, the nerds here at Nerditudes and Nerd TV bringing you flag-to-flag racing action all the way through, to include the pre-race show that you are watching right now, presented by Martin Sports, and the Martin Sports post-race podium show as well. I am Dustin Ballistic Logston. Right below me is the man known none other than Stash, Mr. Kenny Haight. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing awesome, man. Taking a look through at the field, and I'm already liking what I see. This is a long, straightaway, tight corner track, just like we came off of last week. It should be an interesting night. I'm watching some of these cars come into, it looks like 3 and 4, and there's a pretty sizable bump down there. So I'm looking to see how that comes into effect later on with some of these cars, and when we get 2 and 3 wide racing going on.
Yeah, it should be fun all the way through. Again, the banking on this track is not great depending on the lines that these drivers choose. These brakes are going to get a workout on them. But it should pose some good side-by-side action. That bump that you were talking about, we've seen in practice leading up to qualifying, which these drivers should be getting ready to take to qualifying here pretty quick, has posed a little bit of a complication for some of the drivers. It has seemed to upset the cars quite a bit. As we were on board there with Josh Lockwood, you've seen that bump there kind of upset that car as well, and you've seen what happened. Definitely threw him up there. We've seen a lot of wall tags. So as you put it, Kenny, those sticker savers are definitely going to get a workout on that right side.
Oh, without a doubt. I actually just got Thompson Speedway not too long ago, and this is the first time I've actually got to see it in effect. And I think they should produce some really great racing. Watching these guys, they've handled the Charlotte Legends Oval fantastically. Not as many cautions as I would have ever expected. So I think a track like this, these guys should handle it pretty well, and I look for some awesome racing to come out of it.
Yeah, and the race that you were referring to was last week's race at the Legends Oval. It was actually Atlanta. They had swapped it up because of some complications with Charlotte. That was a last-minute change that they did there, but they handled themselves very, very well at that track. Not near as many cautions, and the cautions that were there were racing incidents. So I mean, it was good racing all the way around. So a bigger track like this one here that is made for these modifieds, and Thompson is one of the tracks that poses some of the best the tour modified races of the season. It should pan out to be an excellent race tonight, as we got some beautiful aerial coverage here. You actually get to see the track in full. And that's what these drivers are going to be tackling tonight there, Stash.
Man, I can't wait. These guys have put on an awesome show all season long. Constant door-to-door battling, nose to tail, just phenomenal stuff. And, I'll look through, and there's only one guy that we're missing tonight that I can see, plus maybe a couple new guys. But I do not see the number 51 of Racing Vernon. So that poses a question. Who do you think will take over, and who do you think will win this weekend?
Yeah, and anything's up for grabs. Racing Vernon, you were referring to, he has real racing obligations that he was going to be working with, so he was not able to catch tonight's events, unfortunately. He always a threat when he comes to the racetracks, but I mean, that opens up a lot of opportunity. I mean, you can look at anybody in the field. I mean, you got Jeff Clifton, who is our only repeat winner of the season, winning back-to-back last week and the week before. able to, take on the double victory so far. We are in the 4th round right now, so of this, working towards halfway point of the season. But you can't count out drivers like Jason Cameron Jr. We know that he comes to the track, he brings some speed. Both of those drivers right now are slotted top of the charts, 1st and 2nd. But we've had some drivers here that we know can carry in some speed as well. So, I mean, you got Malagani that's in there. He's running 4th in the time charts right now, even though he was practicing for Martinsville for most of the week. But glad to see that he got the right track there. There's a lot of them. Aiden Hill is another one. Sorry about that. A little under the weather. Aiden Hill's another one that carries a lot of speed. Medeiros is another one that does carry good speed as well. Torman. So, I mean, Miles Morse, there's a lot of drivers in here that this track could play out to be perfect for us to see another first-time winner this season.
Absolutely. I'm looking... It's hard to say because Jason Cameron, he's sitting 2nd on the leaderboard. He is only 0.06 of a second off of Jeffrey Clifton's fast time of the night. But you go back, you got Richard Malagani with an 18.5. You've got Miles Morse directly behind him. And then just 2 positions down from that, you've got Joseph Mitchell. And then 2 positions down from that, you've got Aiden Hill. All of these guys, incredible drivers. I've seen them. I've raced with a handful of them, if not all of them. They're just amazing drivers. So I don't even know if I can make a prediction on who has the best potential to win tonight, because they're all fast. Some of the best drivers I've ever ran with.
Yeah, and they are. And I mean, we do have a couple new faces that have come in here as well. So it's not that we, we're not saying that anybody is not capable of winning this. They absolutely are. But we do have a couple new faces that have come in to this. Frank Barbary is a newcomer coming into this one as well. Skylar Sheridan. These are drivers that we haven't had the opportunity to call and actually see put down laps. Evan Gilbert makes a return after being off for a couple rotations, a week or two of racing. So again, we're seeing a number of drivers that are coming in here, and it's great. As it sits right now, we're looking at about 16 drivers to take the field on this one. So, I mean, anything can play as these drivers are hitting qualifying right now. Stash, it's going to be tough. I'm not going to put down and say that who is going to win this or not. The only thing I'm going to say is I feel that we are going to see a first-time winner for the season. I will say that. So the only thing I'm saying is nothing against Jeff Clifton or anything else, because the man can drive. He definitely can. I just feel that the way that this track is set up and the way that the field is, that this is a perfect environment to see a first-time winner being crowned this season.
I think I would have to agree with you. I think I do see a first-time winner coming out tonight. But I might take it just that little step farther. I'm looking at the number 1 car, Miles Morse, right now. And I'd say if he doesn't take the win tonight, he will podium.
Absolutely. Miles Morse is a driver that has been here. I believe he missed the season opener, but has been here every week since. Has definitely been a competitor as well. So can definitely put it down. Glad to see that Jason Cameron Jr. was able to return. He did miss out on a week due to illness, but back in full strength. He did make a return last week. Probably not the best of tracks to make a return at, though, being a Legends Oval with these tour mods, but nonetheless did make a return. So look to see exactly what he can do, because this type of track, I feel, plays right to his driving style. As well as a lot of the driving styles for a lot of these drivers as well. So this is going to be good practice and good build-up for next week, because we go from Thompson this week to Martinsville next week. The tracks share a lot of similarities in their configuration and everything else. So I would be led to believe that a lot of these drivers are going to be taking notes from this race and moving on to Martinsville next week as well.
Oh, without a doubt. The only difference that I can really see is the corners at Martinsville just a little tighter. So they're going to have to brake just a little bit more, but they've also got that concrete strip on the inside of the corners that could affect how throttle comes down. But no, I agree. I think they're going to be taking a lot of notes from this track as well, trying to transfer over to Martinsville and see who comes out on top with that.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with you more on that, Stash. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, the two tracks share a lot of similarities in their flatness and the banking being a low variant banking, but they do. That's why they call Martinsville the paperclip. It's going to be tighter corners. I mean, if this track here, if the drivers are going to be saying brakes, 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 you better believe in Martinsville they're going to be screaming brakes, 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 because the brakes are going to be even more on that one there when it comes to Martinsville. We're on board right now with Malagani. You can already see those rotors. They're lighting up cherry red there. That's exactly what we're talking about. To get that bite, to get that car to set, brakes are going to be key, but that can also pose a problem as well once we come into it. Everybody's got different brake points, different racing lines, so that could lead to some issues as well, Stash.
Just actually sitting here fascinated over the fact that iRacing took the time to put in such a detail like that to make the rotors glow and fade back into the color that they're supposed to be to reflect temperatures. I've never seen any game do that before, and that's honestly kind of awesome. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I forgot what you were talking about.
That's all right. We all learn something new every day. So, but again, as qualifying is winding itself down here, right now it's looking like Brad Carpenter is at the top of the list as it sits for lone qualifying. Jeff Clifton sitting second, and Miles Morris, your pick there to get his first victory of the season, if not at least podium, is sitting in third spot. That is your top three starters. But we do want to make mention, guys, that the chat channels are open. We want to thank Johnny Williams. Says, awesome job on the broadcast, guys. Hey, we much appreciate it. We love it. We love bringing this action to you guys, bring you a little closer to the drivers. So, and of course, the East Coast Tour Modifieds, the hosting league for this series. Can't wait to watch. Largest field of the season. So, absolutely. Qualifying is over as it sits right now. We are going to be going into our heat race format, 10-lap heats, which will set up your Stay Tuned Sports 65. Why don't you run us through that Martin Sports starting lineup?
Absolutely. Starting on the pole of first of three heats, we've got the number 13 car of Brad Carpenter. To his outside, the 31 of Jacob Torman. Starting third place, we've got the 61 of Richard Malagani. To his outside, starting in fourth, we have the number 2 of Liam Atwood. Starting fifth, we have the 12 car of Devin Medeiros. And to round out the field, we have the 16 car of Skylar Sheridan.
Absolutely. And again, those starting grid lineups presented by Martin Sports. Fantastic apparel, as you can tell. Bo Stash and myself, we are representing, always do, some of the best gloves. And I personally put these to the test for 200 laps at Daytona last night for a 4-hour event. Brought home the victory, and I can tell you right now, those bad boys helped out tremendously. So check out their lineup. That is martinsports906.com. Be sure you use promo code SUPERNERD. Save you a little bit of scratch at checkout. Again, you will not be disappointed. So as these guys are pacing around, Stash, we are going to get our ugly mugs off the face, or off the screen rather, not off the face, and we're going to go down trackside, because that's exactly what these fans out there, these nerd and nerdettes, want to watch.
Let's do it.
They are rounding the last corner here. Pace truck will be dipping off. Again, we are in a heat race number 1. This is a heat main format. They will have heat races of 10 laps apiece. The finishing order of the heats will determine the starting order of the main, with the exception of the top 5 inversion that they do have. That will be done when the main starts, and they will have a 5-minute warm-up in between the heats and the feature event, the Stay Tuned Sports 65 here at Thompson. Pace truck pulls in, getting ready to rock and roll. Cars come off turn 4. Green flag flies. We are underway for heat race number 1. Side by side as they pulled off into turn 1. Oh, 13 drifts high. That is the 13 of Brad Carpenter, your pole sitter. drifts high. That opens the door, allowing the 31 of Jacob Torman to take the lead. And the 12 of Devin Medeiros trying to sneak in back there. But he has got all kinds of pressure. Hard impact there on the wall from Rich Malagani as he was trying to put pressure on Medeiros.
Just some absolutely fantastic racing right out the gate. This track, super racy, it looks like. Watching the 13 of Brad Carpenter as he's following our leader right now, Jacob Torman, in that 31 car. This track is awesome. It had a little more banking than I once realized, so they can carry actually quite a bit more speed through it than I had thought originally. I was thinking a lot more along the lines of Martinsville with the super flat and super hard banking. But no, these guys are actually transferring really well through the corners. Richard Malagani sitting back in 4th place, putting just a little bit of pressure on the 12 of Devin Medeiros. See if he can't take over that 3rd spot.
Yeah, as the 61 of Malagani trying to chase down the 12 of Medeiros. Likewise, the 13 of Carpenter trying to chase down that 31 of Torman. But Torman, you can see, pulls away off the corner exit. It does look like the 13 of Carpenter does get into the corner better, but it looks like Torman has a better exit off that corner. So even Stevens all the way across the board, the 13 is going to have to try to find some ground there to try to make up that one final spot to take heat race win number 1, but he only has 5 laps left to go, Stash.
And these 5 laps, they're going to go by quick. This track is proving to be a pretty fast track. They're running about 18, almost 19-second lap times here in this first heat race. Jacob Torman really coming out of here strong. Checking the speeds, he's pushing about 127, 128 miles an hour into the corner and dipping down as low as probably 88, 89 miles an hour. So definitely some heavy braking going on for sure, with some really high speeds out of these modifieds.
Yeah, one thing that I have seen, though, is passing is difficult, as we see the 61 of Malagani really trying to work the 12 of Medeiros there, but trying to get that inside bite there. I can get the run going down the corner, but trying to put that pass on without creating any type of pinch situation is proven to be very difficult. But we only have 2 laps remaining in heat race number 1. Malagani really trying to put the pressure on the 12 of Medeiros as we sit right now. Carpenter still trying to pull in Torman, but Torman still has a 2 to 3 car length lead over Carpenter. Your big race right now is the 61 of Malagani really putting some pressure. Big run. Malagani has to get on the brakes. There is Medeiros taking that low inside exit there. Definitely put the blocks on that run. And right on that back bumper is the 61 of Malagani.
Malagani bringing it down in. Oh, he's trying so hard, and it is absolutely tough to make the pass, but he will not get it. He will take 4th place in our heat race number 1 for the night.
Yeah, so again, excellent run that we had there. That is the kind of race in action you can expect to see for sure. Again, it is going to be difficult. It is going to be tough to see those passes being completed because these cars, they corner so well. It is not that hard just to turn down, just to cut somebody's line off and somebody's run. But as we get later in the feature event, you might see some bump and runs go on. That's what these guys are known for. But as you see the grid rolling off, why don't you run us through grid number 2 for heat race number 2?
Absolutely. On the pole, we have the 15 car of Jeffrey Clinton. To his outside, the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. Starting in 3rd, we have the 27 of Aiden Hill. To his outside, the number 68 of Joshua Lockwood. And rounding out our field tonight, the number 60 car of Evan Gilbert.
Ooh, this is gonna be a good one tonight for heat race number 2. Not saying heat race number 1 was not good, but look at that lineup though. Clifton, Cameron Jr., Hill, Gilbert, Lockwood. Got some fast drivers in there that have all been running very close lap times, so I expect to see some real good racing out of heat race number 2 here. And I definitely expect to see those bumper bars and those sticker savers probably going to be used here just to test the field and test the waters a little bit here in heat race number 2.
I'll tell you what, there is a lot of skill within this heat race. The first three cars in particular, just always up front. The 68 of Josh Lockwood and the 60 of Evan Gilbert, also fast drivers, just fantastic as they take the green flag coming out of turn number 4, heading down into turn number 1.
Yeah, turn number 1, Clifton has that inside line, the 21 of Cameron Jr. on that outside. Look at that run on that outside, contact already. Oh, big hit. We have a big wreck right there. No cautions in your heat races. This is going to really move that field up, as it looked like the run on the outside. Cameron Jr. had that. We're going to go back and catch a replay and see if we can't see exactly what happened. Definitely looked like there was a little bit of pinch and just ran out of room. But with everybody so close there, it's hard telling exactly where it came from. But poor Aiden Hill just had nowhere to go on that one, and just ended up just clearing and creaming the 21. And that's just close racing right there. Aiden Hill had nowhere to go. Man, Evan Gilbert, I don't know how he snuck through there, but man, he did. It didn't even look like he lifted.
Oh, without a doubt. The 60 and 68, both of them managed to make it through there unscathed. And lucky for them, number 60 of Evan Gilbert sitting in now the lead. And the 68 of Josh Lockwood sitting in second right behind them. Both of them really healthy cars right now.
Yeah, it's that's a big break for the 60 of Evan Gilbert, who started shotgun on the field, moved from shotgun up to that top spot with 6 laps left to go in this event. And what about Josh Lockwood, who went from back of the pack on Heat Race 2 and found his way and somehow snuck through in that very clean, very Raiders-esque modified paint scheme. Is now seeing himself sitting in second, which is going to pose him a good starting spot for the feature event, the Stay Tuned Sports 65.
If I'm not mistaken, with our top 5 invert, that should put him really close to the front, if not on the pole for our feature tonight. I don't know if my math is serving me quite right, but that's the way it's looking to me.
Yeah, it is going to be close nonetheless. That inversion, always a cool feature that they have to invert that field. Definitely shakes some things up a little bit. I know that it gives it that short track, your local short track Saturday night, Sunday night field that they do stuff like that, kind of like the old bounty systems they used to have. Some places still do it. So it does. It gives it that really cool local track feel, and that's exactly what the folks at the East Coast Modified Tour League are trying to go for this Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series.
Giving it that short track feel, they're doing a really good job of it. Like you said, that invert. Just these guys, I really like the way that they're operating this whole league. They're doing a fantastic job. They're going through every week. They look to see what they could have done better. Opening night, we didn't have any fast repairs. Looking at how that went, they decided to bump it up, give them one fast repair. And, the racing has still stayed absolutely clean. And, just those small improvements every week, this league is going to take off and do super well.
Absolutely. As Evan Gilbert does take your heat race win number 2, Lockwood takes second, Clifton does take third, Aiden Hill fourth, and rounding out heat race number 2 will be the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. Shout outs by the East Coast Tour Modified, said what a wreck. That's exactly what we called prior to that. We knew there was a lot of fast guys in there. DeFat Caterpillar himself, Mr. Richard Malagani, says, hopes that we have a good Sunday. Let's make it an even better Sunday night. Hey, it's going to be a better Sunday night because we're watching you guys pull some excellent race in action. But as you see, the pace truck is out for heat race number 3. Stash, let's run us through that Martin Sports official grid order.
On the pole for our third and final heat race of the night, we have the number 1 of Miles Morse. Starting his outside, we have the 28 car of Preston DeMello. In third, we have the 45 car of Joseph Mitchell. Starting in fourth, we have the 11 car of Andrew Major. And rounding out our field tonight for the third and final heat race, the 29 car of Frank Barbary.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an excellent race. Again, got some good drivers in this one. They got big shoes to fill after some of the race in action that took place in heat race number 2. But again, these here are just to test out those cars. They're just to set that starting order for that main event. These drivers will have 5 minutes of warm-up in between the heats and the feature event to try to tune in those cars just the least little bit that they can. As you see, the pace truck is off the track. They come off of turn 4. Green flag does fly as we are underway. They fly off into turn 1. You got Miles Morse on that inside, drifts up just a little bit, barely missing the 28 of Preston DeMello. DeMello up to that top spot right now. Miles Morse falls in second. Right now you got racing between Joseph Mitchell and Andrew Major. Major hard impact off the corner there, straight up into the wall. Mitchell will take over that third spot. Frank Barbary in fourth. And right now, man, poor Andrew, that was a hard impact. Looks like he is towing into the pits on that one there. There are no cautions for your heat races.
I'll tell you what, that 28 car, Preston DeMello, he had one hell of a start on that initial start. We haven't seen it often, but that outside lane just came through super hard as he was able to come down in front of Miles and take the lead into turn 1, which usually does not happen. That was just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, as the 29 of Frank Barbary spins coming off of the corner down the straightaway, gets it collected back up, but loses all the ground as he was trying to chase down the 45 of Joseph Mitchell. But he will maintain that fourth position as Andrew Major is still in the pits on that. But yeah, you are exactly right. I mean, that was almost the exact same move the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. was trying on Jeff Clifton there at the start of the other race, but just everything pinched off, and there was just no racing room, and it just collected both Clifton and himself, and then eventually Aiden Hill. So, I mean, that just goes to show that these drivers can get big run by the one of Miles Morse, as he is really trying to track down that number 28 of Preston DeMello right now.
I'll tell you what, Miles has some skill behind the wheel. I had the pleasure of racing with him last night at the Truck Series at Eldora on dirt. And I'll tell you what, I felt good for about the first half of the race until Miles passed me and just absolutely left. He even had the courtesy to slow down a couple of times to let me catch back up, and he still, by the end of the race, won.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of racing with him as well in that charity event that we took place in. Unfortunately, luck was not on his side, as is the case a lot of times at your plate tracks like Daytona and Talladega. But definitely, he knows how to wheel, just as a lot of these drivers do. But I tell you what, right now, DeMello really showing strength. Definitely takes it high through that corner, but gets that good run off. Do not believe he's going to be able to pull that in. He only got 2 laps to go. We'll get the white flag this time by, as here they come for the white flag. A little bit of a wall contact from the one of Miles Morse, but he is still trying. He is still in pursuit.
You know, our leader in that 28 car, I think he's gonna be our oddball out. I think he's got something going through the middle of those, taking that midline through the corners. As we don't see that very often. I think he's about the only one that you see it out of consistently, as he does bring home the win for heat race number 3. Oh, just kidding. There was one more lap.
Oh, no. It is done right now. Preston DeMello is your race winner. Miles Morse in that one does take second place. Joseph Mitchell in third. Frank Barbary in fourth. And the tough heartbreak of Andrew Major rounds out your fifth position. They have a 5-minute warm-up, folks. With that being said, they are going to try to dial in these cars, get them ready for 65 laps of racing action with a full field tonight for the running of the Stay Tuned Sports 65 here at Thompson Speedway. We will be right back after a short commercial break.
want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that Makoni Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at Makoni Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, Makoni Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to MakoniSetupShop.com and learn why Makoni Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get ready, you see the pace truck is down there. Drivers are getting ready to grid. We've got some people that we need to say thanks to, because without their support, we would not be here today. First and foremost is going to be Martin Sports. Again, the title series sponsor for the Sunday Night Modified Series. Fantastic apparel. Fantastic gloves. I can't say enough about them. You will not be disappointed. They're durable, they're affordable, and they are breathable, which is perfect for everybody out there, especially if you're carrying a little bit of extra weight around like I am. They are fantastic. Check out their full lineup at martinsports906.com. Be sure, as the screen says, use promo code SUPERNERD to save you a little bit of scratch. We also want to thank iRacing iFlag, the official flag marshalling partner of Nerditudes and Nerd TV. Again, fantastic product. It's a full marshalling system, 64 LEDs all the way around. Will tell you flag statuses, among other things. Pair it with a digital pit board, and you will have yourself more information than what you know what to do with. So again, check out their products, iRacingIFlag.com, promo code SUPERNERD. We also want to shout out to Stay Tuned Sports, again, the title sponsor for tonight's feature event. These guys follow all kinds of sports. We're talking NFL, NBA, MLB, yes, even some of the best actors in the business. We're talking soccer. They follow your combative sports as well. We're talking UFC, Bellator, bare knuckle boxing, and they throw in a little bit of comedy and a little bit of smart assness just like the nerds do. Check out what they have to offer. That is Stay Tuned Sports. Admin Box. Again, it is a perfect addition to any admin out there that would like to admin and race. Full customized plug and play, no programming required, so no, you do not have to be a super nerd to be able to operate and get this working. Check out what they have to offer. That is Admin Box. We also want to shout out Butt Kicker as well. Butt Kicker is our official audio sponsor, provider as well. So again, check them out as we are getting ready to go green. Green flag does fly. We are underway. Everybody's spacing out, going off into turn number 1. Right now, you see that 60 of Evan Gilbert.
Right, man,
caution is out. Hard impact into the wall is the 61 of Malagani, and we have a mess and gaggle of Hornet's Nest behind him.
Yeah, absolutely. I was scrolling through on the track at the same time, try to find the action, and the moment I get it out, there's already a wreck, and it looks like the 28, I just lost his name, Preston DeMello, got into the rear of Joshua Lockwood in that 68 car just a little bit into turn 1, sent him around just to collect a couple other cars on down the road. 31 looks like he was involved. The 61 was involved. Spectacular.
Yeah, so again, just the ever slightest of contact from the 28 into the back of the 68. It does collect the 61 as well as the 28, I do believe, was in that one. The 29, so the 29 was involved in that one. The 61 of Malagani was involved in it. The 68 of Lockwood. The 28 was involved in it. And the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. Got some of that one as well. We are actually going to go on board and see exactly what Jason Cameron Jr. saw as everything unfolded in front of him. He got on the binders to try to stop and just couldn't stop in time and just collected and got a little bit of it. You see everything just closed up right in front of him. Just the slightest of contact, but Stash, you know as well as I, it does not take much when it comes to these cars.
Oh, absolutely. These cars, they're already easy to spin out under your own power, much less effort required when you're getting some assistance from anybody else on the field. Just the slightest little touch in the rear, whether it be your left rear or the right rear even, is enough to upset this car. And unfortunately, with a right rear touch, it sends you straight into the wall, careening at, like, you know, the 120 mile an hour that they're doing on this track.
Yeah, so again, we are under our first caution of the night on lap 4. With contact, slight contact. That's exactly what we were talking about, was because this track here takes a lot of braking, and everybody's got different brake points, different driving styles, different driving lines. And as close as this pack is, especially on those starts and restarts, it is going to get tough. Everybody's definitely going to have to be on top of their game. They're going to have to bring their A game on this one here. No B plus is going to pass on this one if they want to try to get through on this. The pace lights are off on top of the official pace truck of iRacing. We want to thank iRacing for being the official software simulation for tonight's broadcast. Without the iRacing simulation software, we would not be sitting here bringing you guys a race in action, and these guys wouldn't be out there putting down 65 hard-fought laps here at Thompson Speedway. Pace truck is off, pulls down the 60 of Evan Gilbert. Outside, Miles Moore's start goes, excellent start by the 60 of Evan Gilbert as he goes way out. Miles Moore still up top, takes it way wide, followed by the 31 of Tormund. Tormund on the outside, Clifton on the inside, trying to get some bite here. Cannot get up as he pulls back up fender to fender, if there were fenders on this one, with Miles Moore's hard impact again is a 60 of Evan Gilbert right off that corner.
Man, Evan just cannot catch a break tonight. He started towards the back of his heat race. He managed to catch a little bit of luck and, snuck through the first incident, but this time it could not be avoided. Just a slight touch from Miles Morse coming out of the corner and then finds the wall, careens him down to the infield. Just an unfortunate break, and I hope we can get the car back out there.
Yeah, it looked like, though, because he was turning those tires hard, it almost looked like it was overdrove on the exit there just a little bit. We're actually going to go on board with him as well, just to see. If I'm a betting man, I'm going to believe that he had those wheels cranked hard left, trying to get as much bite as what he possibly could. And it looked like it just got tight and did not grip on that. Yeah, he's turning those wheels, turning them hard, and it just won't go, and he just collects everybody else behind him because, you're up front. You're leading the pack. There's just nowhere else for anybody to go.
I've been on the receiving end of that. I've ran my way up to third place on an actual dirt track growing up. And me and a buddy of mine, we both spun out. I locked the brakes up, and we touched side to side, and no sooner than I look to the left, we have 15 cars coming directly at our doors, and it's a horrifying feeling, let me tell you that.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what was going through Evan Gilbert's mind on that one as well, because he knew there was no place for those drivers to go at all. But that will put the 15 of Jeffrey Clifton up as your current race leader, as we are working lap 11 of 65. By the time we go back, we'll be on about lap 13. Clifton is your only repeat winner of the season, but he's got some hungry drivers behind him. Devin Medeiros running in that second position. The 27 of Aiden Hill in the third. Andrew Major up there. Good rebound after the struggle that he had in his heat race. And the 28 of Preston DeMello, who we had seen had that slight bit of contact with the 68 of Lockwood, bringing out caution number 1, is sitting in your 5th position. So again, should be a good one. They are lining it up. Pace lights should go out. There they go out. We're going to go back to some green flag racing here. It should be right on lap 13, Stash.
These cars, this track, this is about what to be expected, especially for the first few laps coming together as a whole field. Again, the braking points being different. They're still working with each other, trying to figure out where they're going to brake and where everybody else is going to brake, plus the setup differences. So this is going to be a super hard-fought battle as they come out of turn number 4.
Green.
And our leader takes the green flag, thundering down into turn 1.
Yeah, as he goes into turn 1, we see a little bit of contact back there. That looks like that is from Andrew Major as he drifts it way high but does maintain it. We will get through turns 1 and 2 without any issues. Beautiful shots going back from the deck lid of our leader as we got contact back there. Big wreck. As looks like that involved Andrew Major as well. We're going to go back and take a look at that replay. That was out of turn number 4.
Yes, it was. The 29 of Frank Barbary slides up just a little, catches the ever so slightest amount of rear bumper of that 60 car, and it upsets that whole chassis, turns him completely sideways. Catches the 31 car and the 45 as well. And it looks like Miles Morse would have just missed it, but to miss the wreck, he does catch the wall on the outside of the corner.
Yeah, as we just rode on board with the 29 of Frank Barbary, did drift up in the corners. It looks like these cars are getting tight on entry and exit like that. Maybe getting in the throttle just a hair too soon. Unfortunately, like you said, it did catch the 31 and the 45. So Jacob Torman and Joseph Mitchell are involved in that accident as well. Going to be a tough one. We're going to go on board right now with Joseph Mitchell. We're actually going to go through his eyes on the helmet cam itself and see exactly what he's seen. You see the contact there. He sees it. He tries to turn down. Everybody's turning down. Little bit of contact, but he keeps it going straight. Excellent job wheeling it, but that's where some of that dirt track background tends to come in and help out, Stash.
Absolutely. Having a dirt track background we know that we don't get much time to react, plus we're on a much slicker surface, so it really sharpens the reflexes, and if it doesn't, you pretty much wasted quite a few nights, but nonetheless, it does sharpen reflexes. It's just a nice background to have.
It is. That is going to shake up your running order once more as we are working our third caution. We will be going back to green on lap 19. Jeff Clifton, still your race leader. Medeiros. Yeah, Demarios. Wow. Awesome. Devin Medeiros. I am so sorry, Devin. But Medeiros is still your second place car. Aiden Hill in that 27 third. Preston DeMello fourth. And Richard Malagani finds himself cracking the top 5 for the first time tonight. So again, shaking up that running order. But you still got Torman and Mitchell back there sitting 7th and 8th after being involved in that accident. So again, we do know that these drivers do have one fast repair for the remainder of the season, but you got to be smart when you use that. You don't want to burn it up too soon. You definitely want to plan on that, as these cars can take a lot of damage sometimes, and most times not too much as they come out of turn number 4. Green flag flies, side-by-side start. You see Aiden Hill switching lanes, going to that top side. That's going to open up the bottom for the 28 of Preston DeMello, but the 27 of Aiden Hill right now putting a lot of pressure on the 12 of Medeiros.
You know, I was really curious to see what the 28 car was going to do. As soon as Aiden Hill took that high line, he took the inside, which is a surprise. He was the only car that was running the midline in our heat races, and looks like he's going to keep himself to the low line. He might actually be waiting to see what happens between the 27 of Aiden Hill and the 15 of Jeff Clinton, who's slowly fallen back to third.
Yeah, so what we have seen right there is, again, that change in racing line. A lot of the cars have found that mid-groove has got that speed.
All right, man, caution
as
is out.
we have
Caution
a
is
caution out on the track right now. Trying to see exactly who was involved on that one there.
Looks like the number 2 of Liam Atwood.
That's what I was looking at on that one there. So not sure exactly what happened, but we're going to go back and take a look. But what they are finding right now is that midline has got the speed. You've seen the 12 of Medeiros and the 27 of Aiden Hill both, pass for position and move themselves up to first, P1 and P2 on that outside, passing Jeffrey Clifton on that. So again, not quite sure exactly what's going on with that there, but that's something that, Jeffrey Clifton has got to kind of pay attention on what's going on. But it looks like that the 2 brought out the caution. No, it does not. It was not intentional on that one there. I know that it can look like that, but Liam Atwood did not want to. He knew that coming out at that point in time with where the leaders and the pack was at, that it was going to put his car right at the entry of 3, and it was just going to mess things up. So not to cause an incident. That was probably the most gentleman thing that they could have done. So again, that was a good call by Liam Atwood on that one there, not to cause an issue. Much rather have a caution with no damaged cars than a caution with a lot of damaged cars.
That's one thing that I really appreciate about league racing over racing some of these officials. You get to know these guys throughout the course of the season, and whether you like them or not, you do tend to respect them a lot more. And just like you mentioned, that was a whole lot of respect that we saw out of that 2 car, to pull over, knowing it could cause the caution instead of totaling a bunch of cars and causing the caution that way.
Yeah, that is correct. And we do have some shout outs there. Thank you, Jen. Again, one of our biggest fans, always watching, always supporting the nerds. So thank you again. Of course, that is DeFat Caterpillar's fan group over there. Yeah, she's a fangirl. Probably should be. I mean, that's his other half, so I would hope that she would be. But again, always good to see her out there. The East Coast Modified Tour says a car was just stopped on track. Yep, absolutely, and we just covered that. Again, I personally, and I know we're just up in the booth, I think that was probably the best option for that one there, not to cause a big old cluster going into turn 3, because that's exactly what it was going to end up being. So always good to see that one there. Tim Henderson again. more of the Malagani fan club. There's the Fat Caterpillar fan club. So again, Richard running good. He's running 5th. But I tell you what, man, there's a lot of fast cars out here, and he's got a lot of work ahead of him to get himself up there. Medeiros is leading it. Aiden Hill 2nd. Jeffrey Clifton in 3rd. DeMello in 4th, and Malagani in 5th. The pace lights are out on the pace truck. We are going to try to get this going again. We will get the green flag on lap 27 of 65. We still got a lot of racing to go. We got a lot of fast drivers here, but we haven't really seen a long run yet on this, as the pace truck has come down pit road. Green flag flies.
Green.
Good jump there by the 12 of Medeiros as he takes the lead going off into turn 1. The 27 of Aiden Hills following the 28 of Preston DeMello.
Right, caution is out.
As
Caution
we
is out.
come to another caution, and as we always say, cautions breed cautions.
That they do. I was looking at our first 3 cars on the inside line for that restart, and they were stacked up pretty well. I was expecting the wreck to come from there. Somebody mistimes the jump, spins the leader out, or spins the second car out. But no, actually it was the 60 car getting involved with, I had the replay and I lost it. It was the 16 and 60. 16 got into the 60 car just a little bit, and it was enough to upset his car and send him the whole way around, which in turn recollected the 16 car of Skylar Sheridan.
And that's an unfortunate. You were talking about Evan Gilbert can just not get a break. That being the 60 car that you were talking about, he just cannot get a break tonight, just finding himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. As you see them going off in the corner, 16 drifts up, makes contact there, whips them both around. Looks like it collects the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. as well. That'd be why you've seen that 21 black, white, and green Nerditude sticker bomb car coming down pit road. So again, unfortunate. It looks like there's heavy damage on the 16 as well. But again, that just leads to the thing we were talking about, Stash, is these cars look like that they are getting tight, like they're having a hard time keeping them down at times, especially when they are too wide going in the corner.
In a narrower, it's not as narrow as we ran last week at Atlanta, but this track is still one of the more narrow ones. 3 wide as possible. It's just super hard, and with a car that's tight like these guys are looking, it's going to make things that much more difficult. And by the judging of it, turn 4, that wall, it looks like it might sneak up on you quicker than some of these drivers have realized. So it's still a learning curve on this track as a whole, as we see Miles Morse is no longer racing with us tonight. He had too much damage. Jason Cameron and Skylar Sheridan both have also packed up and head home from tonight's event.
Yeah, and that is a tough break. That means that they have burnt through their one fast repair for the night. And I know that a couple of them just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Jason Cameron Jr. could not get anything going. He just kept getting involved in pretty much a blocked track. There's just no place to go, and trying to woe these cars down just does not always work at times. So tough break for those guys. We know that they will be back next week, though. We appreciate them coming up. We know racing is 50% skill, 50% luck, and 50% staying out of other people's, collisions. Yes, my math is not my strong suit. Just bear with me.
We've got the 12 car of Devin Medeiros. I do believe the lights are out on the truck. They are. The pace truck turns down in, and Devin Medeiros takes the green flag as they thunder down into 1 and 2. The 27 and 28 car making just a little bit of contact, but they keep it straight as they head through turns 2 and down the backstretch.
Yeah, the 27 of Aiden Hill got that good run there. You see in the 28 of Preston DeMello drift up, but that 27 of Aiden Hill getting that excellent run coming off the corner, taking that higher entry through. You see the 28 drift up, and if he's not careful, he's going to lose that third position to the 61 of Rich Malagani, the Fat Caterpillar, trying to sneak up to take that position. So again, right now, Preston DeMello getting a lot of pressure from behind from the 61 of Malagani.
as we start to single out, we see a lot of these drivers moving up to the high side. We had the 29 of Frank Barbary and the 60 of Evan Gilbert just touch a little bit in 3 and 4, or 1 and 2, sorry. And it knocked the 29 off pace, but they keep it straight, keep it under green. I don't even know what to expect from this race anymore.
It has surprised me nonetheless, but right now, as you said, everybody, I think, kind of getting the hint to try to just be patient. I mean, we are working lap 37 of 65, but there is still time to make moves. I feel that a lot of the cars, that were damaged and everything else, that it just a little bit of patience on that, and I know it's hard to say that, especially when you know that you've got a fast car and you want to get by somebody, and it is so tough coming from somebody who gets on and races iRacing as well. But it is very, very tough. But something that we had talked about before, Stash, was the passing on this track is so difficult that it is easy to really push the issue on that to try to make the pass, but that hole and door closes up so fast.
That it does, as we see the 61 of the Fat Caterpillar, Richard Maligani, he reeled in the 28 of Preston DeMello, and he shot for the inside, but that inside right now is just proving to not be the line anymore. Just a little farther back, another battle that we have, the 31 of Jacob Torman is pressuring Jeffrey Clinton in that 15 car. He has not made it more than 2.5 lengths away from the rear bumper of that car, and he's working it. He's taking his time. He's looking it through, and he'll see what he can do later on.
Yeah, I was woohooing about the move that Joseph Mitchell pulled on the 60 of Evan Gilbert. He had been working on him for the last few laps, and he pulled a dirt-style slider right up in front of him, and you probably couldn't have fit the width of your hand in between Mitchell's back bumper and Gilbert's front Nerf bar bumper. It was that close. But, I mean, that's how close you have to get it. It's difficult to pass on this, and with that inside lane going, it seems like a lot of the cars are having a hard time sticking that inside lane, and they don't want to drift up into the other person. As the battle right now is hard and heavy. The 31 finally trying to go on the inside here of the 15 of Clifton. These guys have been going back and forth. The 31 does elect to pull out, so that is Torman. Does elect to pull out on that run that he had, but it looks like he's trying to get that good run on the exit. That's where he's beaten the 15 of Clifton. As he pulls to the inside here, looks like he's going to make it stick. Hard on the brakes, but you see how hard it is to keep that car down and how much momentum he loses because he has to ride those binders so hard to keep from drifting up into the 15.
It's absolutely insane as he gets a better run out of turn 2 this time. Looking to make it stick in 3 and 4, gets on the binders, keeps it wheel to wheel. Still just not quite enough to make the pass.
Yeah, and that's the difficult part on this one here is, again, he has to get on the binders so much to prevent wrecking himself and Jeff Clifton that, Jeff can just stay in the gas and just roll it out on that run and just gains that position back. I mean, and again, big dive down to the inside there. He's going to lose a lot of speed on that one, though. But again, the 31, Jacob Torman, trying everything he can to get by the 15 of Jeff Clifton. Tim Henderson out there watching says, are they carrying too much speed, or are these as slidey as they look? To answer your question right now, these cars carry a lot of speed off into the corners. Quite a bit. Contact there on the wall that they do have to get on the binders, and sometimes it does jump up and bite you on how much speed you actually do carry into the corners, and that's where you're seeing these cars drift up the track because they overshoot their corner entry a little bit because it kind of jumps out and surprises them. To answer that question. So again, with that one there, the 31 of Jacob Torman, mark him up to 5th. On that one, Jeff Clifton pulled it down pit road on that one, though, after the battle that was going on between him and the 31 as he's coming back around again. Comes out right back behind the the 31 of Torman, but now not for position. But back up front, it is all the Devin Madario show. As it sits right now, he has got a good lead right now, up 6 positions from where he started. But don't count out Aiden Hill, as Aiden Hill is trying to chase him down. But we're running out of laps here. We only got 14 laps to go, Stash.
You know, with those 14 laps, the lead has stayed somewhere between 9/10 and 1.2 seconds, which is the last relative known between a 12 car of Devin Medeiros and the 27 of Aiden Hill. Just absolutely trying to reel him back in, but proving difficult.
Hard impact does the 28 of Preston DeMello right up the wall. The 61 of Rich Malagani had to take evasive maneuvers on that one. You want to talk about some crazy racing and exactly how much these drivers have to be on their game when it comes to this. We're going to go on board right now with what Richard Malagani seen in that instant, and only had, mind you, a split second to react on this. As you see the 28 right up the wall, Malagani had to turn left to avoid that one, putting them side by side, going for that position. So again, racing, these guys are leaving, they're leaving a lot out there on the track because they're leaving a lot of scrapes and everything else up on that track. But again, Malagani really trying to put the pressure on the 28 of DeMello.
You know, that 61 car, he is super fast, and that 28 car, he is also another just incredibly fast driver tonight. It's going to be a battle all the way down to the end if we stay green. The 27 car finally working some way through some more lap traffic. Looks like the number 60 car of Andrew Major as he gets around him in 1 and 2. But man, yeah, absolutely, these guys are laying it all on the line, but at least at the end of the day, they can all hold their heads high and say, you know what? We pushed some limits.
Oh, that is without a doubt the biggest understatement of the night. These drivers are not, they're not leaving anything to chance out there. They are really pushing it. Right now, the 28, looking as he is stretching a little bit of distance in between him and the 61 of Richard Malagani as they are working the lap traffic of Andrew Major. Malagani going way low there as Major looked like he was going to come down a little bit, so that's going to upset that line there. But again, up front right now, so far the class of the field has been that 12 of Devin Madario since he's taken the lead. He has been running with it there. A little bit of a wall scrape there coming off of turn 4, but doesn't slow him down. Aiden Hill not giving up yet as we have 6 laps to go in the Stay Tuned Sports 65.
You know, these guys are doing a fantastic job, giving it all they got. You know, it's really hard being singled out this long in a green flag run. You know, it's almost discouraging knowing that whatever you're doing right now is not catching the guy ahead of you. It's, you know, maybe the guy behind you's reeling you in just a little bit. But man, they're all just leaving it, like you said, they're leaving nothing to chance. They're giving everything that they've got, and where the chips may fall or where they fall.
Yeah, as we're riding on board with the deck lid on Preston DeMello, you see that his back bumper is getting worked by the 61 of Malagani. You see the yellow gloves in there. Malagani really working that wheel, trying to get every run he can. But I tell you what, running out of laps as we are winding down, and you better believe that both of these drivers are well aware of the lap count and how many is left.
Absolutely, we should have 2 laps to go coming to the start-finish line this time around. The 61, he's going to be turning up the pressure here real soon. He's been working that inside line really well as he gets a nice run coming out of 2. Cannot quite get it done, but will reline for 3 and try to make another run at it.
Yeah, really trying to get that low line working, which is the first time we've really seen somebody try to get that low line working since they all moved up to that mid to high groove. As we are on the final lap, this race right here is going to be that race for position as DeMello right now, or Medeiros, out to a comfortable lead, does take your race win. Aiden Hill will finish second. That race for third will be claimed by the 28 of Preston. Hard impact is the 15 of Jeffrey Clifton into the wall there. But again, what a race finish. We called it. I mean, we had some dark horses. Yeah, the dark horse that you had pulled out and had mentioned was the 28 of Preston DeMello. And he did finish podium. But we did state that it was going to be a first-time winner tonight, and that's exactly what it is. Beautiful aerial shot there with the fireworks here at Thompson. That's why I love night races, and if the league is listening, do more night races because they look so much better.
That they do. Racing under the lights, man, there's nothing like it. I've always enjoyed it. You know, racing in actual street stock, racing, you know, even on dirt when the races run into the nighttime, racing asphalt when they come into the night. It is just, there's nothing like it. I love it. Every bit of it.
Oh, absolutely. As you see your top 3 podium finishers celebrating and having fun. They survived the race. And again, this track was made for it. There you go, Medeiros. Burn it down, baby. Burn it down. We will be talking to all 3 of these drivers here momentarily. As they, I'm telling you, man, they're going to burn it down and blow them up. That's exactly what they're going to end up doing. All of them are happy. They all ran excellent races all the way through, and all the drivers did a fantastic job tonight. But I tell you what, that is going to take us. It's the 28 of DeMello sliding all the way through the infield grass. We are going to go to our Martin Sports post-race podium show where we are going to get each one of these drivers in the booth, and we're going to talk to them to see exactly how their race was tonight and get a few words with them. So again, Martin Sports post-race podium show.
All right. Bring up our third place finisher, driver of the number 28, Preston DeMello. Do you have a copy on us?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, it was an absolute battle. Started third, finished third, nonetheless, still a podium. Slipped back just a little bit. Man, walk us through your race.
Beginning, I don't know, the leader just, it didn't seem like he went, and I kind of got into him a little bit. It wasn't intentional at all, and that ended up setting us up for failure because we had to go to the rear end because of that, take that fast pair early on, but ended up avoiding all the carnage throughout the race, and then we got that it was like 30 lap green flag run there, and Rich, he was right behind me that entire time. He kept me on my toes, that's for sure. But it was a good run with them. Happy to see both my friends Devin and Aiden pull it off 1-2. So good day for the CDH boys 1-2-3. So.
Oh, without a doubt. And speaking of that one fast repair, you said you had to use it early on.
First lap.
Hey man, that's a tough break, and I can relate to that. I've had that happen to me a time or two as well. I mean, realistically, nobody wants to have to use their fast repair. But since you had to use yours on the first lap, what were you anticipating for the rest of the race?
Well, try not to get killed. That was about it. Yeah, and if we did, it wasn't going to be fun. So we ended up holding on to it, and it worked out in our favor, I guess. I mean, we pulled it off third, so I'm happy with that. After rebounding from a last place restart, I'll take that.
Without a doubt. Last question I've got for you. We saw you in the heat race. You were about the only car running through the middle to the high line. And then by the time features came around, everybody was running that mid to high line. What changed on the track?
Well, when the track wears in more, the car will become stuck in the outside groove, so you want to focus more in on the center of the corner. And so at Thompson, the ideal line is the outside line. But when it's really bit up there, you want to almost... It's hard to explain like without like showing you, you know what I'm saying? But when you're running outside of like the black patch, when you are going to exit the turn, you want to pull it down, and you want to get like half to 3/4 of your car in that black spot, and it's going to give you a lot more pull off when you wouldn't get that when you're running the very outside when the track is slicked up. Does that make any sense?
I'll tell you, you did a hell of a job tonight. You wheeled the hell out of that car, bringing yourself from the back of the pack. I know you've got sponsors, fans that you want to thank, so this is your time to shine.
All right. I gotta thank all my friends who helped me. I gotta thank CDH Paint Shop. That's my shop. $10 paints. Come and get them. Yeah. Everybody who's watching this, thanks for showing up and supporting this so we can have these events. So, yeah. Wasn't really prepared for this tonight.
Man, I don't think any of us really are. Well, you did a hell of a job tonight, and big congratulations on taking home 3rd place.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
That is your 3rd place finisher for tonight, Mr. Preston DeMello. Again, as you heard it, bouncing back from a lap 1, fast repair usage, and worked his way back up through the field. Had to battle and hold off some tough charges from the Fat Caterpillar himself, Rich Malagani, who we know comes on strong with late race speed, so to claim that final podium spot. So again, congratulations to the driver of the 28, Preston DeMello.
Next, we will have our 2nd place finisher, Mr. Aiden Hill. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I tell you what, buddy. You gave it everything you had out there. One of the first cars in the feature event that really started working that mid groove up there, and you single-handedly helped push the 12 of Devin Medeiros up to that lead as you guys took to the outside around Jeff Clifton there. Walk us through that move right off that restart, because you guys were so strong off that restart.
I was told that I apparently may have killed Jeffrey's race, because I stepped on the brake a little bit under pace, but whatever. But during the restart, I just watched this car and just gassed it and watched Jeffrey and Preston behind me and just hoped that they wouldn't get on me, and I just late braked, got on the gas longer, got on the gas earlier as well, and forced the car to turn. So
I tell you what, you forced the car to turn. You did it in a fantastic manner as well. In the later stages, I mean, was there anything else that you feel that you possibly could have done to prevent the 12 of Medeiros from gaining such a lead like that, to maybe try to be there at the end to battle him for that top spot? I know you're still hungry for that win. You've still been looking at it, and you've been finishing close in podiums a number of times so far this season, and the day's got to be coming. Is there anything different you could have done tonight?
Probably if I could have started a little earlier and gotten closer to him, and Bryce sent it under and just tried to fight him through the corners. But other than that, I really couldn't tell you. Maybe stress him out, see if he would mess up a little bit. But he's a good racer, so I doubt he would do anything. But you never know.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit, because I mean, we only get to see what we're calling up here, so we're not racing with you guys on the track. How was the racing tonight, with the way that the track kind of shifted gears a little bit, and the racing lines that drivers took went from the bottom to the mid to the top, and how hard was it to pass tonight?
With fresh tires, if you sent it way too hard in that corner, it would slide, and then later on the tires would get hotter and hotter, so you couldn't run the bottom line because you'd start sliding up the track. So you'd have to run the middle and then to eventually the top, because those are the faster lines. And if you sent it under somebody, you had to commit and you had to fight them, and you had to have the grip for it, because if you didn't, then you wouldn't get anywhere and you'd be going up into the other car. So
yeah, we've seen that a couple times tonight as well, and that's exactly what Stash and I were calling. I mean, it just seemed like the passing was super difficult in the later stages of that race. But I tell you what, man, you ran a hell of a race. Like I said, I mean, this is not the first time we've interviewed you on the podium. Definitely not going to be the last. I feel that victory, that dub has got to be coming towards you at some point in time because you've been slowly creeping forward with the third and then a second. You can only best it by one other position. That's all you got. But I tell you what, man, you ran a hell of a race. Second place, fantastic race. Who do you want to thank out there? What sponsors you want to shout out to? And who do you want to sit here and give thanks to?
Sponsors for supporting me this season. Butt Kicker for providing the Gamer 2. Helped a lot with racing tonight because sliding, you could feel the butt kicker vibrate more, so I'd know if I was losing a little more grip. Stay Tuned Sports for also supporting me this season. Thank my mom for watching all the time. My dad for biting his fingernails all the way to the tip. The rest of my family for supporting me. Friends for being there. And then Chloe, I know you're watching. Thank you for watching and thank you for the support. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, well deserved. You did a fantastic job. One of these times this season, I'm going to call it right now tonight. Stash, you can mark my words. One of these times this season, we will be interviewing that number 27 in Victory Lane. So again, congratulations on your runner-up. Keep running those races. Keep being consistent. We've heard you say that time and time again. Consistency is key as well. Keep doing that thing. But again, congratulations on your second place.
Thank you.
That is your second place finisher, driver of the 27, Aiden Hill. That leaves one and only one driver left, a driver that we haven't had the chance to interview in the Martin Sports post-race podium show yet, and he does it in the most grand of fashions by taking the victory here for the Stay Tuned Sports 65, talking about none other than the 12 of Devin Medeiros.
Yeah, I got lucky there at the beginning, wrecked twice, and I was able to get to the lead, or more specifically second, and that helped a lot starting in seventh, and I was able to drive around Jeffrey on the outside and was able to just hold it there for the rest of the race.
Man, I'll tell you, your car looked fantastic tonight, especially out front. By the end of the race, you ended up with a 1.8 second lead over second place of Aiden Hill. We've seen that lead grow from, just taking over first. It held out for about a second for quite a few laps, and then towards the end of that race, you just took off. How much preparation went into your race this weekend?
Truthfully, I actually joined the session with 10 minutes of practice left, so I only had like 10 minutes. I was pretty bummed to be in the first heat because I was hoping to watch everyone else's line. But I was able to learn from the first heat of me racing and watching the other people heat 2 and 3 and figure the track out.
Well, I'll tell you, for coming in that late and performing the way you did, that was something to watch. One of the bigger movers tonight, coming up from 7th to 1st. Beautiful 6 places. Man, the car just looked fantastic. I really don't have a question for you, but maybe Dustin might.
Jeffrey there, I know if he wasn't down on RPM, didn't have damage, it probably would have been a better race for the lead. Kind of sucked for him, but it is what it is.
It is, and that's why we made mention of that in the broadcast earlier. Racing is 50% skill, 50% knowing where not to be, and 50% luck, and no, math is not my strong suit. But you already called that you had, it was a little bit of luck tonight. Sure. But either way, Jeff Clifton, he'll be able to rebound from that. The guy's a solid racer. He's the only multi-race winner this season, so he's got the skill and got the speed. But it's definitely a heartbreak on that one there as far as the damage, because it could have changed the way that the whole thing turned out. But it turned out exactly how it was supposed to turn out tonight. I tell you what, man, you did a fantastic job. We haven't had the ability or privilege to interview you all season long, and you come in here with the race victory and doing it dominating style, because once you took the lead, you never looked back. Can we expect more out of that 12 team for the remainder of the season as we're coming up to our halfway point?
Hopefully. I do know I will have to practice a little more for the future tracks, like Martinsville coming up next week, I believe. So. Yep.
Martinsville is next week, but I tell you what, it's you've got the speed. Yeah, you definitely got the talent, and as it shows tonight, and you said it, you have the luck on your side as well, just as every driver does from time to time. So I would definitely love to see you back up here in the Martin Sports Post-Race Podium Show, interviewing you again. But this is your moment. It is your time. I know you've been waiting now for 4 weeks to have this ability, so we'll see how well you did your homework and getting your pen and paper out there to be able to read off those who you want to give thanks to and sponsors you want to shout out to. The floor is yours, buddy.
Yeah, I really only have two, CDH Paint Shop and then EPI Setup Shop. Those are the only two real sponsors I've got.
Hey, short, sweet, and simple. I love it. Even better. You know what? Hell of a race. You did a fantastic job. Put the car right where it needed to be. Count yourself as a Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series official winner for the inaugural season. You did an excellent job. Look forward to seeing what you can do the rest of the season, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
And that is your feature winner for the Stay Tuned Sports 65 driver of the number 12, Mr. Devin Medeiros. I tell you what, it's been great. I mean, it's just the feeling of the race, the way that everything went was awesome. First time winner. I mean, I always love interviewing a first time winner because most of the time they don't expect to be in that position, and even a first time podium finisher because they didn't prep for it. So I mean, they're like, oh crap, wait, I'm gonna be interviewed.
Oh, I have people.
I got people.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
So it's always fun, but I always love giving them their time and their moment on that. But we also love giving our sponsors and supporters their time and their moments as well. Starting off with Martin Sports. Again, you can see Stash is wearing that shirt. I've got the official Nerditudes jersey as well. Hats, gloves, you name it, they got it. Yes, they even got sim racing shorts as well to keep those no regions dry during those long races. I definitely could have used that last night, as well as Stash's from that 4-hour charity event.
Yeah.
But they don't just make stuff for sim racing. They make fantastic apparel, sports uniforms, hoodies, shirts, you name it, they make it. Go check out what they have. Go check out their apparel line. That is martinsports906.com. Be sure you use promo code SUPERNERD. Save you a little bit of scratch there on the side. We want to thank the event sponsor for tonight and a series sponsor. They're also the sponsor of the Lucky Dog Award. We just don't see a Lucky Dog Award that often, but we're talking about none other than Stay Tuned Sports Podcast with Jimbo himself. Again, fantastic guys. I have personally gone and listened to some of the podcasts as well. It is very entertaining as well. You want to get your sports fix and hear upcoming news, a little bit of flash thrown in there, some ball busting as well, some comedy, but they'll talk about anything NFL, MLB, NBA, yes, even some of the best actors in the sports biz, Major League Soccer. They'll talk about that, but they'll also go some of the most badass sports that you can get, and that's full combative sporting, being UFC, Bellator, bare knuckle boxing. They'll even talk NCAA. So again, they cover a vast majority of every sport out there, and they do it with some panache, a little bit of flair. So they love doing that. Check them out. That is Stay Tuned Sports with Jimbo. We also want to say thanks to Admin Box as well. Again, Admin Box, one of the premier sponsors for the Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series. This is perfect for those driver admins out there that always have a hard time trying to balance being a participant and an admin running a successful league and race series. This right here will help you with that. It is an HID plug and play, no programming required. Excellent labeled buttons on there, gives you all of your commands set on there. They are backlit as well to help out. It does actually have an onboard number pad as well when you need to enter those commands that require entering a driver number. That no keyboard is required on that. Everything can be done through this. Fantastic product. Check them out. That is Admin Box. We do want to give thanks to iRacing iFlag. You have seen that logo pop up a number of times in the bottom left for every green flag and for every caution flag that we have had in tonight's event and any event across the board for Nerditudes and Nerd TV. It's the official race marshaling partner of Nerditudes and Nerd TV. They make a fantastic product that any iRacer needs. This will give you live flag and usually milliseconds faster than what you will receive on any other time as well. It is claimed to make you faster as well, also give you a heads up on what's going on, but it doesn't stop there. No, they have a digital pit board as well that goes along with it that gives you up-to-date information on fuel usage along the way. So again, check out their packages that they have to offer there. You will not be disappointed. That is iRacingIFlag.com. Use promo code SUPERNERD to save you 15% on your checkout. We also want to thank Butt Kicker, the official audio enhancer of Nerd TV and Nerditudes. You heard Aiden Hill talk about it before. Definitely helps out. I use this as well. You want to transgress that final piece that you've been missing, the actual feel of what your car is doing. I'm talking about the engine revs. I'm talking about your shift points. I'm talking about tire slippage. I'm talking about hitting rumble strips. You will feel it, and you will definitely help you out as well. Aiden Hill uses it, said that it definitely helped him out tonight, knowing when his tires were slipping. So it is racer tested and racer approved. So check him out. The affiliate link on the screen, that is thebuttkicker.com/AFF equals 35. Be sure you use promo code NERDTV to save you a little bit at the end. Finally, we want to thank Makoni Setup Shop, the official setup shop of Nerditudes and Nerd TV. Again, go check out what they have. They have race winning setups there. Use promo code SUPERNERD there to save you 15% on the purchase of a single setup, but they do have packages as well and subscriptions, so go take a look to see exactly what they have to try to get you and assist you into victory lane. Again, their setups, your victories. And with that, why don't you run us through one final time, because we want to make sure everybody gets that little bit of recognition on their hard-fought positions. Some a little bit more hard-fought than others with accidents. That's the way it goes with racing. But run us through that final, again, unofficial finishing results for tonight's event. Unofficial because admins do go and review post-race, and if any penalties need to be handed out, they can be. But for the most part, Stash, I don't know about you, but I feel pretty comfortable that these are probably going to be pretty well set as far as the unofficial finishing results. But nonetheless, run us through those results for us.
Alrighty. As we talked about, our winner tonight was the number 12, Devin Medeiros. Following closely behind was the 27 of Aiden Hill in second. Third place was the 28 car of Preston DeMello. Fourth place, the 61 car of Richard the Fat Caterpillar Malugani. Rounding out our top five will be the 31 car of Jacob Torman. In sixth, we had Joseph Mitchell in the number 45 car. In seventh, the 60 car of Evan Gilbert. Eighth place had the 15 car of Jeffrey Clifton. Ninth place was the 11 car of Andrew Major. 10th place, 68 of Josh Lockwood. 11th, we'll see the number 2 car of Liam Atwood. 12th, we'll see the 29 car of Frank Barbary. 13th place was the 16 car of Skylar Sheridan. 14th will be the 21 car of Jason Cameron Jr. 15th will be the number 1 car of Miles Morse. And rounding out our field tonight, in 16th place will be the 13 car of Brad Carpenter.
Yeah, so again, that unofficial finishing results for the Stay Tuned Sports 65 is presented by Stay Tuned Sports. It's just kind of funny how that worked out. But either way, again, excellent finish by all the drivers. Some drivers had tough luck tonight, but they will be back next week. Everybody did a fantastic job. But that is going to do it for today's broadcast. Again, excellent racing action. Next week, we are going to take these bad boy touring modifieds to the paperclip itself, Martinsville. So look at the track that's on your screen, scrunch it in, and that's what we're going to be at. So if you thought that there was a lot of bumper action and close racing tonight, be sure you guys tune in next week as these bad boys hit Martinsville, one of the best short tracks to run for these touring modifieds. But on behalf of myself, Dustin Ballistic Logson, on behalf of the man known only as Stash, Mr. Kenny Haight, and everybody affiliated with Nerditudes and Nerd TV, all of our partners and supporters across the board for both the Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series as well as Nerditudes. We thank you guys. We thank everybody that was out there watching, everybody that shouted out. Again, we love the interaction. We love bringing you guys in. So thank you guys so much for being here, for supporting. If you like what you see, do us a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe if you'd like. But do us at least this. Be sure you tune in every Sunday and watch these boys put it down in style. So again, for everybody here at Nerditudes, thank you guys so much. Stay safe out there. Keep it real. We'll catch you guys at the next track.